Right, this is third grade, Module 6, Lesson 9, and in this lesson, students are going to be given some data. They're going to make a table. They're actually going to make a pictograph from that, a picture graph. And then using either the table or the picture graph, students are going to answer some questions. So let's get started.
So we have a table that shows the amount of money that Danielle saves for 4 months. So in January, she saved $9. February, she saved $18. March, she saved $36. Ooh, that was a good month for her. And then April, she saved $27. And the idea is now we're going to take that data in the table and now we're going to answer or record it in a picture graph. Okay, so the idea is, first thing I want to do is I want to think about that picture graph, and you could see that they've already given us a title. They've already given us the side length, side dimension, which is money saved, and these are the months. So the months, that's going to be pretty straightforward. That's going to be January, February, March, and April. So let's get that written down. So that's going to be January, February, March, and April. So we have our months recorded. Now the idea is with the picture graph, we know we're going to have pictures going up above each of these. But we need to think about what value is each picture going to have. So let's look at that table, and we can see that 9, 18, 36, and 27, each of these numbers is divisible by 9, or they're also divisible by 3. So we could have our picture represent either 9 or 3. And since 9 is bigger, it's a bigger number, it means we're going to be drawing fewer pictures. So let's do 3. Let's do 9. So what are we going to draw? Well, let's zoom in and let's make that picture be like a money bag. Okay, so it'll be, let's see, a bag. There's my bag, and then there's the tie, and let's add a little dollar sign. All right, so that is our picture. All right, so that's our picture. And whenever we see that picture, it's going to represent $9. So we're going to put in $9 there. So that's what that picture represents. And so we're going to go down here. So January is $9. So that means it's going to be one bag. So where we see January, we're going to put one bag. Now February is $18, so that's 2 sets of 9. 9 times 2 is 18. So that means we're going to need 2 bags, and those 2 bags are going to go, those 2 bags are going to go down here for February. One bag, one bag. And then going up here for March, we can see right here is 36. Well, 9 times 4 is 36. So that means we need 4 of those bags. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then lastly, we can see that April is 27 bags, and 9 times 3 is 27. So that means we need 3 bags for April. Boom, boom, boom. All right, now, do your pictures have to be as amazingly awesome as mine? No way. You could have done a heart, you could have done a star, you could have done anything, and that's perfectly fine. So now that we have both our table right here, and we have our picture graph right here. Now we could use either of those tools to answer our questions. So the first question is, how much money does Danielle save in 4 months? Well, each one of these bags represents $9. So if we wanted to, we could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 bags, and so we know that 10 bags times $9 gives us $90. So she has saved $90 in those 4 months. So now we're going to slide that up, and then we have another question. So it says, how much more money does Danielle save in March March and April? So March and April, well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 times 9 is $63 in March and April. And then January and February, we can see is 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 times 9. So that's $27. So how much more money did she save in March and April compared to January and February? So that means we need to subtract 63, subtract 27, and we can see that she saved $36 more. And sliding, we got just a couple more questions. I don't know if I need to answer all of them, but you get the idea that once we've got the picture, we can use those pictures to answer any number of questions. In fact, parents and teachers, a really cool idea would be, instead of giving them a whole bunch of questions to answer, allow your students to come up with their own questions. What a great way to differentiate. And they can choose problems at their level of sophistication. How awesome is that? And that wraps up 3rd grade Module 6, Lesson 9. Students were taking the data, they made a picture graph, and then they used that picture graph to answer some questions.